We on? What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hopefully well. My name is Kenny. If you are coming back to the channel, welcome back to the crib, big baby. As always, it is good to see you. Hopefully you and the fam are doing well. If you're new to the channel, thanks for taking the time to stop by and for clicking on play on this particular video. I appreciate that. 21 seconds in, you can see the title, Life and Mentoring. We're going to talk about life and mentoring. So if you're looking for a video that has a lot of content pertaining to trucking, probably not going to be this video. So I didn't want you to stick around 5-10 minutes in. Kenny, get to the point. This is not going to be a lot about trucking. We'll touch on it, but if you're looking for that content, you may want to go ahead and dip out, thumbs down, whatever you need to do. But if you're looking for this type of content, stick around. All right, so again, it's been a minute. I've been working, family and friends, and hunting. Yeah, I'm a hunter. Sorry, I hope that's not offensive, but I hunt. I like to go deer hunting, and I love the deer sausage. I'm a country boy. That's what I do. But anyway, I do periodically check emails that I get. Sorry, I'm not as good at returning a lot of those emails, but I'm still working on getting better. But I got one that piqued my attention about a week ago, and I'm just now having a chance to circle back around and address that email. But the email, I got it around here somewhere. Email was basically, Kenny, how you doing, man? Long-time subscriber here. Have not seen any videos from you in a while. I don't know if you remember me, but I sent you an email a long time ago. I think I told you every day before I start my day, I'd be on a treadmill drinking coffee and listening and watching your videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Goes on to say, what have you been doing? Well, I just mentioned that. I just talked about that. And then he said, hey, got a question for you. I'm still out here doing my research, as you often talk about in your videos, but is a mentor a requirement? And I was like, that's a good question. And I don't think he meant that as like, is it required to have a mentor before you can start a business, whether it's trucking or anything? And no, it's not a requirement. But I do think it can be a value, in my opinion. But he also said, I noticed a long time ago you sold your truck and you said you're doing freight brokering. Is the business still good on the trucking side? Any life advice? Any life advice? Well, hopefully I can touch on that sometime in this video. Is a mentor required? No, it's not. As I mentioned, though, I think it can be a value if you've got the right mentor, if you've got a good mentor. I know I did a couple of videos where I talked about, should you pay for a mentor? Should you not? Is there any value in paying for a mentor? Is there any value in having a mentor where you're not going to pay? So let me attempt to address that first. I don't have an issue with a mentor charging anybody. I've paid for some of that stuff in the past. It all comes down to this. You, the person that's paying for the service, do you feel that you got a ROI, return on investment? Was it a value? Do you feel like you got a value from it? If you did, money well spent, write it off on your taxes and check with a tax expert. Make sure you can do that. I'm not an expert on taxes. But if it helps you, I don't think you can say there's nothing wrong with it if it helped. Now sometimes you think you got help, but it didn't help you. Sometimes it takes us a minute to figure out if it was a value. We've got to go and take that information and put it into play. Now there are some who charge, but give really good mentoring. They give good advice, good information, or what have you. But just like in anything in life, there's good and bad. So if you're getting a value from it, nothing wrong with paying for it. Now, on the side, the free side, sometimes you can have a mentor that didn't cost you any money, but you didn't get a return on your investment. And you said, what do you mean return on my investment? I didn't pay for it. Well, you did invest because you invested time, right? And so did you get any value from that? I mean, if you didn't, now Did you not get value because you didn't pay for it? I'm not going to say that. I think you can pay for it and sometimes not get value, right? So that's why I'm going to say I think it's a value if you have a good mentor. What makes a good mentor, in my opinion? My mentor didn't want anything from me monetarily, didn't want any money, wouldn't take any money, was actually quite offended by me offering money. Number one, he didn't need my money. And some people who do mentoring don't need money anyway, but they say, hey, I'm taking my time, so I'm going to charge you. But this mine did not want any money. Literally just say, hey, man, I don't want your money. That's not why I'm doing it. As a matter of fact, he didn't even label what he was doing as being a mentor. He was being a friend, and he had some valuable information. He had been in that industry for quite some time, retired, and was willing to share information with me. So he looked at it as that, man, I'm talking about a business that was good to me, that I love, and I want to see you, young man, do well. That's how he told that to me. I could not do anything but appreciate that. I mean, I could not do anything, man, but appreciate that. Now, did I get a value from it? Absolutely. Me selling my truck does not mean that it's not a good business. I here's what maybe we get into life now. Whether your business is successful or not, in my opinion, has very little to do with the truck. That's just my opinion. You got to have the right attitude, right mindset, right plan, and you've got to be, coachable, teachable. I don't know if anybody remember the movie Karate Kid? Yeah, no, go check it out. It's not one of those movies that's going to get awards or anything, but I mean, there was a couple of things in there that I thought were pretty cool. It's about this young kid. He was going to school and then he was picked on, and teenager, and they knew karate, and he didn't. He wanted to learn karate so he could protect himself, defend himself, right? And he met this, what's his name? Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was, experienced. He's a martial artsman. How do you say that? He was proficient at karate or whatever it was. But anyway, so, and the boy name was Danielson. So he would tell him to come over after school every day, and he was going to be his mentor. He's going to teach him karate. And the young boy didn't really know what he was teaching him. He felt like he was wasting time. He'd go, he'd say, come over and paint my fence. He painted the fence, all right, I want you to sand my floor. He's sanding the floor, waxing the floor, wax his car. And so one day, Daniel said, and I hope I'm not messing this story up. It's been a minute. He said, I'm coming here every day. I'm washing your freaking car. I'm painting your house, your fences. I come here to learn karate. This is Danielson. Show me, paint the fence. No. Am I doing it right? Wax on, wax on. So he was teaching him, but the young man didn't know he was learning. He was teaching him stuff, but it wasn't happening instant, right? Microwave society, we want it now. But he was teaching the young man. And the man goes on to win the tournament. So how does that relate to mentoring and business? What do I always say? Patience, discipline, having a plan. Being successful starts with you. It does. In any business. Now, we can relate that to trucking, but it comes back down to you. It really does. I hear all the time, how much money can you make? There is tons of videos. And that's why I said at the beginning of this one, if you're looking for a lot of content on trucking, man, there's many of them. A plethora of them. All over the place. They got big bold letters. I made $30,000 this month. So, and I'm not saying they didn't. Maybe they did. My question, I would have two things to say to that. Number one, congratulations. Number two, what was your expenses? Because I know that's a gross number. Not saying that the net number is not good. But you will see that all plastered over YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. But, I want to make this positive. let me address it this way. I think trucking is a good business. I think there's a lot of good businesses, depending on you though, how that business is going to work. But we always, in my opinion, sometimes ask the wrong question. So many people go out and buy a truck without a plan. They have a misconception of what trucking is. They feel like soon as they get their truck, their insurance, the authority is active. They've got their truck outfitted and ready to go to work. They've decided, they're gonna use a load board or a dispatcher. They got their factoring company, man, they ready to roll. But there's a lot more to it. You don't see when people have shut down for the day. You don't you don't see people who've been away from home 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe even longer. There's a lot to it. Trying to run your own business, having a person to help you with your taxes. And what you make in that truck, is it good money? I don't know. I don't know what it takes to run your household. I don't know what you're in that truck for. I know I paid $3.50 to fill up my pickup truck. I don't know what it is to fill up a 18-wheeler, box truck, whatever you're driving, Sprinter van. I don't know. But you're going to need to know if you are running a trucking business, especially as an owner-operator, meaning you own and you operate. Is it a good business? I think it is. But are you a good businessman or a good businesswoman? Do you have the right mindset? Do you have a business mindset? That's why I often talk about sometimes you have enough money to go broke. I don't want to be negative, but I want to be real. It has very little to do with the truck. Now, I mean, you got to have a truck if you're in the trucking business and you're an owner operator, but can you withstand the bad times? We all know we can deal with the good times, right? And so having a plan, being disciplined, and I do believe having a mentor is a value if you have a good mentor. A good mentor is someone that genuinely want to see you do well. They're willing to invest the time in making sure that you are equipped with the right information, whether they charge or not. And, and they need to be knowledgeable. They need to know what the heck they're talking about. I never talk to a person about how to become rich and they're not rich. That may be wrong or right. There's one thing that everybody has, guys, especially on YouTube, and that's an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. I mean, it is. And I'm no different. I mean, me too. But, when I ask my mentor a question, they're not eager to jump on where I may be wrong. They will say, I don't know, but I'm willing to help you in any way I can, positive. So I think that your mentor needs to be knowledgeable. And for me, if I'm the one that's being mentored, I want to have an open mind. I want to be able to listen. And, follow the plan. If my mentor said, you're not prepared for this yet, man. What do you mean? Well, your mind is right. You got a great idea, but, you don't have the time to do this. That's what my mentor told me. He says, you have experience. I mean, you've been a company driver for multiple years, multiple companies on the semi side, but you've never been an owner operator on any side of it. And so you've been in business for multiple years. You got a good business mind. You've got the money to do it, but you don't have the time to do it. So you're not all in, and you've got to be all in 150%. Not only do you or me in this case have to be all in, but your family has to be all in. It is a commitment for everybody in that household. Now, if you're a single man or woman, it may be different. But, everybody's got to be all in. They've all got to sit down and have a conversation. What does trucking look like? What is this going to mean for the family? I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be away from home in most cases if you're over the road. I mean, in a lot of cases, especially if you're doing Boxtruck, Amazon, you're probably at home every day. Maybe at home too much. But if you're over the road, you know, this is what you got to have a conversation for. So a good mentor is going to be knowledgeable, number one, and and legitimately want to see you do well. They don't want anything from you but to see you do well. Again, whether they charge or not, mine didn't. Uh, so I mean that's what I think about it. I mean, you just gotta, can finding a good mentor be hard? In my opinion, yeah. Now on YouTube, you're gonna find 1,000 of them. Are they good? I don't know. I've never dealt with 1,000 of them on YouTube. You may find a good one. Do I know of a good one? No, but I haven't been really looking for one. So that's not good or bad. I just don't know any. If you're looking for, and you didn't ask me if I knew of one, you asked me, is it required? I'm not, no, it's not required, but I think it is a plus to have someone in your corner that has experience about the industry that you're researching. And if they're willing to take the time to, my mentor was retired, pretty much, sit around on this forum every day, and enjoying life. So whenever I have time to go by, I don't call, for that information. I call, check on him and his family, and I schedule time to go out and talk to him. And we sit out on the ranch, and again, I'm a hunter, so it's two things, right? I get to go hunting. But anyway, and we talk. We talk about life. One of the things about my mentor when we first met, my mentor years, been knowing him for years, he knew my parents, was a lot older than me. So he knew what kind of person I was, and he used to always call me a spoiled brat. Y'all don't see that in me, do you? So, but he knew I was genuinely a good person, had a good heart. And so, for him, it was more about him being comfortable, with me, and he knew me. And he would always point out things that I could do better. He would never say these are bad things. He would just say, here's things that you can do better. And we would focus on a lot of things that I do good and how to incorporate that into a business picture that makes sense. And just, go from there. He had been in trucking. Man, he had like 7 trucks, done it for 35 years. I mean, he know trucking inside and out. And I remember when I first brought up Boxtrucks, he didn't say, man, why Boxtruck? You ain't gonna make no money in that, man. You need to get you a semi, man. That's where all the money is. He didn't take that approach. He could, but he could have, but he didn't. He listened to me. He says, okay, okay. And here's what he said. I remember this. He says, Kenny, I don't know a lot about box trucks because I've never done box truck. My, primary experience has been in a semi-tractor trailer, so I don't know a lot about the box truck. Right? That was, man, you crazy, man. Ain't no way I'd go out, man. None of that. None of that, man. So again, having the right mentor who want to see you do well, positive, patient person that can listen, I think it could be of value. So we didn't talk about semis at all. Mind you, I know a lot about semis because that's what I've done as a company driver. He obviously knows more than me. But, I said I'm thinking about, no, I'm looking into the box truck industry. I think that's how I phrased it. And he says, man, interesting. I don't know a lot about box trucks, man. I really don't. But let me dive into that and, let's talk later. That was his response. And so he went and done research for me. We met again, and here's what he said. Looked into it. What is your question specifically about box truck? And now I'm like, man, that's a great question. Well, do you think I can be successful? He says, absolutely yes. I says, really? He says, yeah, but not because of the business that you're going into, but because of who you are. I absolutely think you could be successful. Had nothing to do with money, nothing but, about driving. It was just because I know the person who you are. Absolutely, yes, I believe you can be successful. And I said, man, okay. All right. I said, well, is there any money in it? He says, there's money in anything. I'm like, huh? There's money no, his exact words, there's a money in a lot of things. There is a lot of money to be made in transportation in general. But it is hard work. That was his response. Again, didn't say, man, you ain't got but 26-foot box truck, man. You can none of that. So, I mean, and that was my mentor. And we sat down, man, and ate sunflower seeds on the porch and just talked. You know what I mean? That is a good mentor, in my opinion. So I think a mentor can be good. Yes. And I think the trucking business is good. But are you ready to be a business person? Hey, man, I hope that helped. I appreciate, I'm sorry sometimes I get to talking and I be all over the place, but I hope you were able to get some value out of it. If you're specifically asking me, is the box truck business is good? Yes, it is. But you can mess it up if you're not conducting business properly. Did that make sense? I mean, I hope that's not negative. Yes, I think box truck business is good. I think Sprinter van is a good business. But when, most of the time when you say that, people immediately go to the money. It's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you can keep. If I make $10,000 a week, yeah, in most cases for most people, that's good money. But how much of that $10,000 did I bring home to me? Did I bring $5,000? Okay, that's pretty good. If I brought home $5,000 a week, I know I'm not going to make that next week. I may make more, but I may make less. So let's just say I made $5,000, net. That's what I brought home, for the week. What am I into that truck for every month? What am I in the fuel for? What am I in the insurance for? What is all of that? Now, everything is left after everything has been done for the truck. This is what I got left. Well, will that number support me and my family and my current lifestyle? If yes, then great. So it's so much that has to go into it. Now, there are so many people on YouTube that do it very well, very effectively. I mean, and they're very successful. So, but I'd be willing to bet their situation is not your situation. Anyway, man, I hope this has helped. Hope I've answered your questions. And I hope to hear from you, so we can talk more. And I will do my best to get another video out soon. But here's what can help me do a video sooner. Let me know whether you want to put it in the comments. Now, if you don't see your comment right away, guys, I've got it set to where I have to approve the comments because that's the easiest way to get rid of negative. You don't even have to deal with it. But if there's a comment, I'll try to, respond to it immediately if I see it. Or you guys can always call me or email me. That's always in the description in most cases. Boxtruckkenny@gmail.com. That's the email information. And I am always willing to talk to you. There's nobody that I know of that can say he won't talk to me. Okay? What did I used to say at the end of my videos? Tough times don't last forever. Tough people always do. Money does not come with instructions. So you need to be smart as it pertains to your decision-making process. I always believe when you make good decisions, good things happen from those good decisions. All right. Have a great day. At the time of this recording, it is February 24th, 2022. We're almost at the end of this month. Be safe, everybody. Take care. Good to see you too, by the way.